Hi, everyone in Facebook land today. Thank you for joining us. I am sitting here with Linda Beauvais. She is the creator of the WebAround, and we were just having a conversation, getting to know one another. This is going to be really fun because this is the first time we have had a chance to meet and talk. So we're all new getting to know each other today. So I'm just going to wait for a couple of minutes for people to join in and get settled. And then we will get going in just a minute or two.
No problem.
Linda was telling me some of her clients, so I think this is going to be an excellent conversation. A lot of my clients are entrepreneurs that started in other industries.
Good.
Like you did as a nurse, and then branched out for either they saw a need also, or they had this thing that they love to do, and it turned into a business for them.
Wonderful. Fun to learn. Will they be live also, or just you and I?
As people come into the broadcast, they will be live, and we'll be able to see their comments. Good. As well. Mm-hmm. But I think I am going to get started. I don't want to take up too much of your time today. And I noticed that you didn't tell me that I needed to remove any of my questions. So I thank you for that.
No problem.
We have a good amount to cover today. So everyone, I am getting the opportunity to talk with Linda Beauvais. She is the creator of the WebAround. And she's using her green screen today, and she's created this background screen. Linda, previous career was nursing, and one night she was in the ICU unit, and one of the doctors was doing a webinar, like telemedicine. Mm-hmm. And this led to Linda noticing that although the doctor was giving good information and doing what he set out to do, the background created distraction. And so she created this product, WebAround. It's a background screen. It's very easy to use. It's compact. It's portable. It's all the things, as Nicole Walter says, it's all the things that a virtual office can use to have a meeting and have a professional background and not have a lot of distractions. So welcome, Linda, and thank you for your time today to talk to us about your entrepreneurial journey.
Well, thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. I learned about your product from my work as a customer service professional, and I provide customer and tech support services. And learning about your product led me to your website and to do some research on the WebAround. And I gave a little bit of a synopsis of how you came into your business, but if there's anything else you want to add to tell our audience, please feel welcome to do so.
Well, I think when I thought of the idea, when I was 20, I thought of another idea, which was a wipey warmer for baby wipes. And at that time, I paid an invention company $5,000 to, check this out and see if we could do something with it. Well, apparently we could, because 30 some years later, they're still selling them. So when I thought of, and I didn't get anything from them, they said, no, there's nothing you can do. So as far as I'm concerned, they stole it from me, right? No. But from that day, when I thought of this idea, I said, you know what, I'm going to do it. I don't care if I only ever sell one. I'm going all the way with it. So that's kind of what was my drive to do it. But yes, we did think of it. I thought of it working at night with the the doctor with the robot, and you could see everything behind him. And I said, he just needs something behind him to look more professional.
Okay, excellent, excellent. Now, to me, it's wonderful that you saw a need and created a solution for it. So how did you and your team come together to create the WebAround?
Well, at first I had a partner, Vicki Childers was a nurse with me, and we would stay up at night sewing, putting things, tearing things down, making things, trying to, get it to work as simple as it was. My sister had said to use the fold up thing, which was an excellent idea. And I think at first I thought it would be this thing attached to the chair and it would pop up, and then it came down to as simple as it is this with the, strap behind it to fit right over the chair. But yeah, we just, I tell you, it's been very grassroots from the start till where it's at right now. Everything we just figure out when it comes up and we do it. I really haven't had a lot of guidance on doing it. I just think through it and work through it with my family and get it figured out.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. That's what I have a friend of mine that I just got to visit with recently, and that's something that he has always said. Necessity is the mother of invention.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, figure it out. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that, being a nurse or whenever we think of something, it's like, well, how do you do that? How do, I think about all the things that I have learned, which is what I love to do, is learn and be in the middle of something and in a challenge. But, from the beginning of it, I didn't have any money. And then it's like, you really don't know who do you go to? What company do you contact, or how do you do this? But, I've went through the invention to getting the patent attorneys, to trademarking, to getting it manufactured, importing, exporting, every bit of it, we just had to learn along the way. I really haven't, and some days now it's getting a little bigger. I wonder, do I need a somebody else that helps me through all this stuff? What kind of person would that somebody else be?
Yes, and that leads me to, that's actually one of our questions, is how did you decide to, I think I will go to that question, about your team. When you put your team together, how did you form your team? Was it the traditional route? For example, I took a class from a training that helped me with an initial business plan, and it was at the Small Business Development and Training Center here in Little Rock, and they teach you how to create a business plan. And the team, they advise you, is an attorney, an accountant for your taxes, and a consultant. So did you use that method? Or I've since met other entrepreneurs that used another method to put their team together. So what did you do to create your team?
I think at first, I knew I needed a patent attorney, so I think I got the patent attorney. We worked with another attorney, kind of a business attorney for a minute, and an accountant. But, I think that we all realized that at first, nowadays I think businesses are put together a little different too, but I didn't have a lot of money, and attorneys are a lot of money, and accountants are a lot of money, and you're not really that big. And so I would go and get the advice from them, but I kind of had to do it in my own little way because, I didn't have that much accounting. I remember the first years, I could write it all on a piece of paper, everything that happens. It was not this huge. Now I have an accountant, I have a bookkeeper as I've grown, but I think when you start, I think probably the most important thing you need is an attorney to advise you which way to go. And I think of, I'm working with some young kids that are developing an app, and I'm, invested in that a little bit. Now they have a whole nother, they're getting all kinds of investment and doing this. I never really did that. I just paid for it and ran it as it made a little money. I never got a big investment. I would say kind of now I probably need to do it even more because it's really booming now. But at first it just was, clawing my way through it, making it.
Okay, I understand that. Yeah, and when it's new, that's what we do a lot of times, because there is truth in the statement, you don't know what you don't know. And without a point of a reference or someone who has walked the walk that you're walking, then it is a just learning and going experience.
Mm-hmm.
And people can choose to grow with you when they also don't know. So I understand that. We've been talking to Linda Beauvais about her journey, her entrepreneurial journey in creating the WebAround. And I wanted to make sure that I give you the web address, thewebaround.com. You can go there and see the different background screens that she and her team have created thus far. So make sure you check that out at thewebaround.com. Now, going on, when did you introduce your product to the market?
I think we probably introduced maybe 9 or 10 years ago. Really, I was way ahead of myself. The market really wasn't even ready for it or really using. I'm working with, a big company, big shipping company, and they have been provided with webcams and all these things to do sales with the webcam, and they still are choosing not to. I think about it in the nursing when they say, we're going to do this. Everybody kind of fights it. We're not going to do it. Well, their higher ups have said, you are going to do it. So I think I introduced it back then, but nobody was really doing it. I was really ahead of myself. Now, the last 2 years, it's really, really, really taken off. I think, a big company I worked with is Intuit with their TurboTax. They hire 10,000 people a year, and they are all live operators. And they also had, figured out these people are all in their home. How are we going to keep a consistent background? And they started to use the WebAround, and, they send them, I think they said a t-shirt, a webcam, and a WebAround, and people are set up to go. So I think the industry now is ready for what I thought of a long time ago. I was way ahead of myself. So it's kind of fun to see how it has just blossomed in the last few years.
Yes, and that seems to be a characteristic of the entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. They can see things coming. They solve problems. They can create systems, and that's just a character trait that I have learned that entrepreneurs share. That they see things before the masses. Yeah. So it's like you get the opportunity to put this in place and then watch everyone else then become aware of, oh, that's okay, I can use. I'm glad this is here for me to use in this way.
I know. I think at first when people go, what is it? What is it for? What are you going to do with it? It was a challenge for a long time, Yeah. And I think even with my family they plopped along, and they're like, okay, mom's kind of a little, whatever. We got these boxes in the basement, and the friends would come over and go, what is that? Oh, that's this thing my mom has, Well, now, and I think a good thing was my daughter went to a convention with us, and I have a picture of her when she saw the Twitter, saw the people, saw what really happened with people, that she then really started to believe too. It's a wonderful thing. And at work, somebody new will come around. They go, oh, she's the inventor of the WebAround. And they go, what is that? And then I hear all my coworkers going, well, let me tell you about it. I don't even have to tell anymore. They're like, oh, they're so proud of me. Let me tell you about it. It's exciting to see when everybody gets their aha about it. I just got the aha a lot earlier.
Yeah. Exactly. And that you are just helping me go through these questions. So I thank you, because that was one of my questions for you, is sometimes in building a business, there are people in our personal circle that just cannot see the vision yet. Mm-hmm. So did you experience, you've already explained how they, even though they didn't necessarily see it, but they kept moving with you. So what was your internal feeling? Did you experience a lot of internal doubt? Did you ever think that your product would not succeed on the market?
A lot. A lot. it just for, many years, 6, 7 years there. I mean, I would make enough, sell enough to pay the, the credit card interest, not the credit cards, I had all this money out there, and I did struggle with it. And I was like, well, I can't stop because I have to pay for all this. So I have to keep going. But, oh yeah. And a lot of people were like, what is it again? Oh, that's not, or that, nobody will use that or that, there was a lot of doubting. And I think by human nature, people, I don't know if I'm not saying they don't like to see people succeed, but they're challenged by the fact that you're doing that. So you're kind of butting it, they say, well, I don't think that'll ever work. And you're like, well, I don't know. I'm going to keep going. And
exactly.
A lot of self-doubt, and you're like, and you don't believe in it. You're like, well, maybe it doesn't really work. Maybe it's not good enough. Maybe. And then I think my longest customer has been Rosetta Stone. They have bought it from the start, and they always are buying more. And then I say, okay, it does work. They're still using it. It's okay, because you it is a lot of self-doubt, that, maybe it isn't good enough. Maybe it's not right. Maybe, definitely.
I do. And I love that you, a lot of times people feel like they have to tell us a different scenario, but listening to the truth of a story and the journey about, you're not the only one that doubts whether you can do this or not. You're not the only one. I've learned of this this term recently, imposter syndrome. You're not the only one that feels like you're an imposter, that you can't succeed at this thing that you want to do. So it's all a part of the journey, because a lot of times, for example, like your story is a perfect example of it to me. When you're walking a path that you're creating, you're not walking, it's not like a path of nursing.
Right.
Nursing is a major career choice on the maternal side of my family.
Yeah.
So if you want to be a nurse in this family, it's not hard at all, because they're going to tell you what courses are going to be your most challenging courses. They're going to be able to tell you which hospital what's going to happen at which hospital, and what's the best one according to what you want to, the area that you want to work in. Not hard at all, because you have all this experience. But when you don't have the experience, and it's just your intuition and your faith, it does become challenging. Each step of the way, you're like treading. I'm like, I'm not sure. It is feeling like walking on water when you're walking on your faith. So in preparing I wanted to switch a little bit to preparing for this interview. I did some research. I looked up other companies, and I did find some companies like ScreenFlex. So, but what I noticed about the difference with ScreenFlex is that you needed to call them. What I liked about your product, and this is something that we look for as consumers, you look for the price, and your product is affordable, and your prices are right there on the website. Your website is very user friendly, easy to use, and get all your questions answered. So did you do a competitive analysis when you were developing your product and the price range?
I guess maybe in a roundabout, I didn't say a Google search like you did. What other things are out there? I didn't do by a company, a competitive pricing, but I did look at what other products are out there. And even now, it comes up, there's something similar. Not most of them are stand-up products, which kind of makes us a little different, and they are much pricier. And it's fun to be at the conferences, because people say, how much is this? I just spent $200 and I have this huge thing that's standing up. It's sitting in the corner. I never use it. And they say, this would be easy. So that's kind of a confirmation again that I have done something good, and it's priced right for the consumer, I think.
Yes. Just if you're just joining us, I am getting the opportunity today to talk to Linda Beauvais. She has created the WebAround, this blue screen and her green screen that we're using for teleconferences and meetings for the virtual entrepreneurs. You can find more information and see the products with the prices at the webaround.com. My name is Electra Ford, in case you're just joining us also, and you can learn more about my online business, a virtual assistant, internet marketer, and customer service professional, which is how I learned about the WebAround at thevirtualofficecenter.net. So continuing on, as we got a chance to talk a little bit, visit a little bit today, that you started your business in 2007. So how long did you stay in nursing after you got your business off the ground and moving? What?
Well, to tell you the truth, I still am in nursing.
Okay.
I work very part-time, keep my benefits and keep my foot there for a minute. I guess I'm still at that. I'm a little bit older, and that's my little security blanket there. I can do it blindfolded, like I say. I know it very well. I have gone way part-time, which has helped a lot. And, maybe I'll give it up altogether one day, hopefully soon.
Well, that's the great thing about doing things you love. You can do more than one thing that you love.
Yes, I do love nursing too.
Yeah, so that's great. What has creating this product, what has it done for your family and your family dynamic? Have you become this entrepreneurial cohesive unit, or what have the changes been?
We actually are a pretty cohesive unit. They've, like I said, for a lot of years they just kind of went along with it because it was there, and now that it's really, really blossomed and blooming, they are very supportive. Everybody, my son and husband are shipping. They do the logos. I've hired another person to help with marketing and in the gaming industry, and my daughter helps with many, many things too, and including the business aspect more of it. But yeah, it's been a good team. Now that it took off, they really are very supportive and very helpful, very, very much so.
Excellent.
Yeah.
If someone would have told you about the challenges you would face, would you have avoided trying to put your product out there?
No, I'd still do it. And I think even nursing, I work in intensive care. I've just always had that little bit in me to do something else while, I'm always doing two things at once and keeping going. So I think it wouldn't have stopped me. No, I'd have went forward and tried to conquer the challenge. Definitely.
Excellent. That's when you know that it's the right thing for you. When no matter what, you're willing to go and see. That's when I think that's a good indication that you're on the right path for you. When you just decided, okay, this is what I want to do. I'm going to experience this, and I'm okay with whatever happens because this is in me, and I'm ready to birth it.
It is, and it's in the experience. Some days I'm like, I don't think I really knew all that was going to come at me, and then it's like, every day is something else. And I'm like, wow, is this really bigger than me? Can I, there's just been a challenge after challenge. And I'm like, some days I don't know, do I need to have somebody else do this? Is this something I can really do? Because I think you think of it and you do it. And then it's like, wow, this is really, really getting big. I'm talking, I'm on a call with Logitech or Zoom or these, Intuit, or I'm like, and I'm making that big decision. It's like, wow, it's overwhelming sometimes, but I'm loving it. Excellent.
I love that too. It's refreshing it's always good to hear someone's story and how it grows, and that moment when you realize, okay, not only was I supposed to do this, but now I'm like, okay, I'm growing into an area that I didn't even know was going to happen for me.
Right. That's the other, the challenge keeps going. That's the biggest thing. It continues on. it's a wonderful challenge.
Excellent. So you were talking about some of the companies that you have talked to over the years and that want to use your product. So when did you first realize that your product, although you started it because of this situation with the doctor, when did you realize your product would be needed to more than just doctors, and that you could offer this to content creators and gamers?
Right. I think that probably from the start, I have all my notes. It's fun to look at because I kind of looked at where could it be used, and that I think that the biggest surprise to me or thing that I really didn't think ahead on at all was the gaming industry or the live streaming. I wasn't even associated with it, didn't even see it, and that's one of my huge industries. And they use the green screen because they can chroma in whatever they want, So I think that has really, really helped to boom it, is the green screen, which I didn't have before and I do now for the last 2 years, that it really has taken it to another level, and I talk the gamers, and then, I think I talk about Zoom, which is a different conferencing system, but they built chroma key into the back of their conferencing system. So a company can be branding themselves throughout the conference. It would say, WebAround or whatever you wanted back here. And I think that has been a huge push and a huge, really wonderful for them and wonderful for the people that are going to use it. If we are all at home or wherever, whether and really it doesn't matter if you're a one-person show or you're a company with, 5,000 employees, you can all use this. You can all download your logos. I mean, with that system, it's, I think, a phenomenal thing for telecommunications, that people are going to be able to brand their conferences. And I'm sure it'll get moved into many other conference platforms as it goes along, because it's a wonderful asset to them.
Exactly. So what industry does your company serve the most?
Well, I'm thinking the gaming's getting pretty big right now, but we have served many industries, from telemedicine, from translation companies, banking. Banking has all the virtual tellers now, call centers. This is my next vision. I think with the call centers is, like, say that you're a call center and maybe you're running for 3 different banks or something, and you only have call. So it could come in and it says, okay, it's PNC Bank. Boom. This computer will automatically change that background to be PNC, and the call will know it's PNC. And in a minute, you could change that background to be Chase. So these call centers that maybe they're taking calls for different construction companies or different whatever, immediately it can be that company name behind there, no matter who they're taking the call from. I think that's the next little vision I have happening. Quite interestingly, another system did a lot with is the prison system, because they are allowing the prisoners to use Skype or, whatever face. I don't exactly think it's Skype, but so instead of sometimes having the personal visit, they can visit more often from somebody from home. Probably safer for the prisons. 2 people aren't coming in all the time. But let's say that you're in the prison and it's your son's birthday. Now you could view that birthday cake at the table and be involved from there with whatever's happening in your family. And then the prison system saw the need to give those prisoners privacy behind them. So they have the web screen and they're having their own private little conversation with their family. So that was, I think, a unique little situation.
That is unique. Wow. I was just visualizing when people talk. I usually get a visual. So I was like, I didn't think about that, about the prison system and how it can be used as another form of people getting in touch with their family members and just that they're okay. And
they, even though they're there, they can kind of be at whatever's happening in the family. They can be there at the kitchen table, or whatever. I think it's fabulous for them to be allowed to see their family in that light.
That is something. Wow. And you also mentioned the call centers, and that is how I learned, as I mentioned earlier, that's how I learned about your product. And if you are just joining us, my name is Electra Ford, and I'm talking with Linda Beauvais, the creator of the WebAround, this blue screen and the green screen that is behind her. We were talking about the products and how her products is used in different industries, and one of them being a call center. And if you have more questions about call centers, you can go to the virtualofficecenter.net /go/call center. I have a virtual call center, and I have more information and details there. Again, you can learn about it at the virtualofficecenter.net /go/call center, and to get you a green screen so you can have a professional background when you are making your virtual calls or your conferencing meetings from home or from wherever, go to the webaround.com. So continuing on about the, want to change up a little bit here. You have been so good to me, helping me with my questions. They've been flowing a little easier than I knew they would. So when you started in this product development area, did you find that this industry was highly competitive or very supportive of new entrepreneurs, new product developers coming into the market?
I think industry-wise, I don't know how much I'm really involved with the industry, but I feel that when I guess when I go to a conference, and that would be the industry seeing it, they're very receptive of it. They're very supportive of it, and you get always the wish I'd have thought of that comment, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, this is cool. This is what people need. So I think they're very supportive. They make me always feel it's very enlightening after I go to a convention.
Good.
Yeah, very much is, yes.
So we were talking about, you talked a little bit about what you see coming for your next product. I see that your new product right now is your 56-inch portable green screen. So do you have any products that are currently in development now?
Not really. I have other thoughts, but I'm kind of just hanging on this for a minute. But I think that the product itself is bringing more to me. And like I said, I never thought I would be a consultant, but I get many calls and many emails of people that are having to web conference and going, hey, how do I do this? They kind of pick me. I talk about the Zoom too. They're selling it, they're teaching them, and then people go, okay, how do I do that? How do I do it? So I feel like there might be a consulting kind of thing where we can help people to feel comfortable, and even what you're doing with your business. How do I do this? How do I set it up? How do I, there's some steps to it. People will put it on and go, well, it doesn't work. I'm like, well, okay. It's a couple adjustments you have to make to teach people, because I think more and more people are having to do this, with their company. And I think companies went from an area where, and you're talking call center, so forth, and really even I've sent a bunch, to the Philippines. We all know we're talking to them. There's no big surprise, and they're going live. But I think the industry went to a thing where for years, if you wanted to go to the gas company, you walked in the gas company, you talked to the gas company face to face, you did your business, you left. Then it went to, well, just email me or chat with the community. Don't ask me, ask somebody, but you need help, and you're like, can I talk to anybody? No, you can't. The industry's kind of going back now to, well, you know what? As a matter of fact, you can talk to somebody, and you're going to talk to, Linda and I think at first I thought it would be hard because we would all have to be these beautiful people, right? That who's going to be on camera. And that's the one thing I'm working with a couple of companies on, and I'm just doing what I'm doing with you and trying to get people comfortable that it is like going to the grocery store or wherever. We are just who we are, and we're going to get comfortable just talking to each other like you and I are right now, and it will be okay. And I think it'll bring more honesty and better customer care to many industries to be live again. And it will be from wherever everybody's working from, where their homes,
yes, because you see the industry, the change. For example, in customer service, I talk about it often how, especially if you are in retail or customer service, those positions, a lot of them are transitioning from a physical location into a virtual space.
Right.
So the idea that you said that is coming to you in some form of being able to adjust the screen to the company that you're servicing at that time, I can easily see how that would be huge. Yes. Because it is, as the call center industry grows and these type of jobs transition to a virtual space, it will be needed in various ways. So I can completely see that. Did you mostly use online marketing strategies to grow your customer base, or did you use traditional marketing?
That's a funny one, Electra.
Okay.
So,
okay, let me get comfy.
As I was growing, I kept saying, well, somehow I have to market this. I have to get this out here, and how do you do it? That was one of those steps I was at. It's like, well, look, I don't know anything about marketing. So I did a couple of interviews with some marketing companies, and it was like, okay, well, for, $50,000 or something, we can do this or that. And it was always like, what do you want us to do? And I was always like, well, I don't know. That's why I'm coming to you. And my example always is, as a nurse, if you came into the ICU and you were very sick and dying, and I said, well, which drug would you like? You would look at me like, well, I don't know, save my life. When I'm coming to you to market for me, I'm asking you to tell me what to do. I have no idea what to do. And I would struggle with that. And they'd go, well, so then I would be uncomfortable. And of course, I didn't have 50,000 either. So my marketing has really been people's need. People find me. I really never did any huge marketing other than going to shows. That's been my big marketing push. I seem to have found something that people need, and they're looking for me. And then I do things like this, and I think word of mouth has been my best friend, or video conferencing has been my best friend, because people have had to do it and they're using it. And for instance, with the Zoom, again, I bring that up, but they're on the sales call with the salesperson, and they're going to the salesperson, well, how are you doing that? How are you putting that, behind you? And then they say, well, we're, using this in the WebAround. So I think my best marketing has been the human being telling each other, and the human need for a solution.
I understand that. And someone, I don't know how we started echoing here, but I see your someone from your office, someone that I've had the pleasure of talking with. Dan says, and influencers.
Yes, the influencers. Yeah, thanks, Dan. Yeah, and that's what we're doing in the gaming industry, is affiliates who are, talking about it and getting it out for us. And that's why I think we've grown so much in that industry. And that being said, marketing and getting it out there does help you grow.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. And you mentioned the online marketing, marketing period, when you go to people, especially in the online marketing space, all of these platforms are relatively new.
Yes.
And although they are new, they have substantiated their position in our lives.
Right.
Facebook just recently started a campaign that I saw on television, and that was because of what has transpired lately with Mark Zuckerberg testifying in Congress and all of that. But for a while, other companies advertise for Facebook. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. So all of these online platforms are new, but they have shown that they can connect people. They connect people to services. They can connect you to products. They can, and even like Twitter, his more and more becomes a space where we keep up in real time about something that's going on. So social media also keeps you informed about news events, current events, something that is happening. So that I can understand why when you started marketing, meeting people could be challenging with finding people that can actually give you strategies that can help you in your business. If you're just joining us, I am talking with Linda Beauvais. She is the creator of the WebAround that we are using here today. And my name is Electra Ford. You can find more about me and the online marketing that I implement for companies and product developers at thevirtualofficecenter.net. Again, that's thevirtualofficecenter.net, and you would click on the Start Here button. So I'm almost done. I thank you for spending most of your top of the hour with me, your 11 o'clock hour with me today. As we've been talking about the WebAround, I'm not only a user, I feel like that commercial. I'm not only a client or whatever, I'm a fan. So I'm not only a user, I'm a fan. And I keep up with your team on Twitter talking about social media and attending conferences. When you attend conferences, you said earlier that people give you good feedback. Do you also see it have a direct effect on your business when you attend conferences?
Definitely. It definitely increases my business, and I think helps people to find a solution. The sales after are tremendous, and it's more of an industry. The gaming that was phenomenal after we went there. The sales were up. The sales at actually gaming even at the convention was fabulous. You know, they are very receptive, and I think people find out that with the gaming industry and this simple green screen makes it so anybody can do it. You know, anybody can do the green screen, and I think with the Zoom thing, they had that built into their platform, but honestly, it really didn't matter because nobody had a green screen. Right. Mm-hmm. So it was like, well, they have that. And then when we came together, it's been just a wonderful relationship because they have something that no one has very simply for people to use and do this. And it's made their system it's just phenomenal. And everybody said it's just the talk of the industry is that you can virtually do that simple. Just click a button, pick virtual background and pop this on your chair and you're live. It's just like a very wonderful thing. I think the industry is just going to grow and grow and grow, and you're going to see it, and I'm going to see it. It's going to be great.
Yes, I think so too. Well, I thank you, Linda, for sharing your time with me today and your story with us. Is there any other information that you would like to share with us before you go today?
I think I've shared a lot, and I hope everybody will take a minute and look at the webaround.com and follow us on Twitter at @WebAround.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you
for inviting me, Electra.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us today. We will have the replay up again. This has been Linda Beauvais of the WebAround, and I am Electra Ford. You can find me at thevirtualofficecenter.net. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.